Hello and welcome to The Mini Nerve. We have such an incredible show for you today. I've been just dying, like racing to the end of the week to get to this because we were compiling all week long for our very special guest, someone you know and love. And the minute he showed up at Nerve Central, you said, you've got to get this guy back. We love him. It's Mark Bowden from the Behavior Panel. And what we're doing today is reading a ton of celebrity body language. Okay. Again, it's what they're saying, articulating with their vocal cords, and what they're actually telling us is the real story through their body language. So Mark is back, the founder of communications company TRUTHPLANE, and again, one of the 4 panelists on the must subscribe YouTube channel, The Behavior Panel. Welcome back, Mark.
Maureen, thanks for having me back. I do appreciate it. Lovely to be here with you.
We have so much to get to, so we're going to get right into it. First, I saw this clip and I thought of you immediately. Prince William gave an exclusive interview to the Canadian actor Eugene Levy, and Eugene asked him about his most difficult year with the illnesses of Catherine, Princess of Wales, and his father, King Charles. Let's take a look, and then you tell us what William's body language is really disclosing.
This last year, your wife and father have been ill. How are things now, first of all?
Yeah, things are good. Everything's progressing in the right way, which is all good news. But it's it's been, I'd say 2024 was the hardest year I've ever had. Trying to sort of balance protecting the children, Catherine. My father needs a bit of protection, but he's old enough to do that himself as well. But it's important my family feel protected and have the space to kind of process a lot of the stuff that's gone on last year.
Okay, Mark, you go first. What struck you the most about what William was doing there?
Well, let's look at the context with which it's set up in the first place. It's 2 guys sitting down over a pint of beer in a pub, wooden pub, comfortable, a little nook. It's already very, very intimate and very, very British, very English, I would say, being there with those pints of beer. So the whole setup is one of intimacy. Now, does he deliver that intimacy? Actually, I think he really does. When the illness is talked about, we see a little creep in his mouth of contempt around the illness. He's not happy with that illness at all. He's not putting on a strong front around it. We see real pain in his forehead around it as well. So he's not fronting this up. He's not doing a public display of British stiff upper lip around this. He is letting out a creep of emotion around this. Well, look, but what did you see in there?
What really struck me was when Prince William immediately begins the answer and he says, it's good, but he tilts his head downward and he sort of scratches his forehead as if to say, no, it's not good.
Yeah, look, I think you're absolutely right there. The head tilts down. That could be an element of sorrow in there. Yeah, concern goes across his forehead. We see the sides of the mouth turn up into an asymmetrical stance in the mouth. So yes, he is saying up front, hey, it's good. At the same time, he's very clearly telling us, no, it's not good. There's nothing ever good about this kind of illness. It puts you, potentially on death's door. But of course, he doesn't want to come across as somebody who wants to put his sorrows onto the public there. He's not there going, hey, it's terrible for me. He's not there as a display of himself, really. The idea of royalty in the UK is to be a projection of the public, to put forward an idea of sorrow happens to us, and I'm going to show you that sorrow is there and show you how you can deal with that sorrow. He's doing it in a very new way for royalty, which is not to have the stiff upper lip, but actually to show a certain amount of emotion.
With so much going on right now, things can feel heavy or sometimes make us feel disconnected. But there is something simple that can unite us, and that is shopping small and supporting small businesses, because when you choose to buy from a small business, you're not just getting a product, you're actively helping someone's dream to grow, and you're investing in the values that so many of us share: honesty, craftsmanship, and community. That is what A Warehouse is all about. They have teamed up with nearly 100 small business makers across the United States to bring you handmade goods filled with heart and creativity, uniting people of all backgrounds in a singular mission. So let's choose connection over division and show small businesses the support they deserve. And by the way, you get something on the back end because no tariffs. Visit awarehouseshop.com and use code The Nerve for 15% off your first order. That's awarehouseshop.com, code The Nerve.
Let's talk about the clip that broke the internet. There's Meghan, gliding in, flashing that well-practiced smile that says, "Remember me?"
Meghan Markle approaching Dame Kristen Scott Thomas, who completely blanked her at Paris Fashion Week. Mark, please talk to me about this. I think this is a top display of just icing somebody out in the most elegant way possible.
Well, you said it when you talked about Kristen Scott Thomas there by calling her Dame Kristen Scott Thomas. She's also a knight in France, speaks French. I think you're right that this is Paris Fashion Week. Okay, so she's on somewhat of a home turf there for Kristen, Dame Kristen. Part of the job of being a dame or a knight is to uphold the hierarchy of the realm that you're in. And of course, Meghan with Harry could well be accused of trying to take down the monarchy in some way. And so we could say it's Scott Thomas's job here to ice her out, regardless of what feelings she might have for Meghan. And there's not enough of a clip here for me to really work out what she's feeling, okay? But if you were to suspect that she's icing her out, there would be a very good reason why it's her job to do that. And if it's her job to do that, I think she does the job very, very well in this situation.
Mark, what did you make of Meghan's body language where, she's staring and then the hand on the chest plate, like, but I'm really trying to connect with you. Please pay attention to me.
Yeah, I'm here and my heart is here and my heart is your heart. Yeah, she's obviously making those messages of wanting to connect and connect honestly and truly from the heart. And I tell you what, it's having absolutely zero effect on Scott Thomas in this situation. Zero.
I love it. By the way, we're looking at two actresses. One's a real actress, Meghan. It's not you. It's Dame Kristen Scott Thomas. Okay, here they are, the gruesome twosome in New York on Thursday night, collecting yet another meaningless humanitarian award. Mark, what do you make of the way these two are presenting as a quote-unquote united front on the red carpet? They're standing together. She's looking at him. He's not looking at her. He's looking at the cameras. His face, his expression. I was texting a friend of mine last night. I said, he looks like thunder.
Well, look, the thing around Meghan here is that she is only as important as the trophy that she is next to and has in her hands. And at the moment, her trophy is never in a good mood and never looks to connect very well with her these days. So it's a very kind of unpleasant trophy to be next to at this point. You see how she looks up at the trophy to go, hey, you see what I've got here, and he doesn't connect. The trophy doesn't connect back with her at all. He has a bit of a scowl on his face. It doesn't look good. And then we've got this whole context of they're there to receive a humanitarian award for work with a charity that I don't think they're really any part of it. There's been some problems, I believe, with this charity. And so the whole setup just doesn't look good. And it looks kind of like they're there so that, shows like this one and other broadcasters will show the pictures of them next to the sponsors at the back. The trophy there is for the sponsors to have them there as their trophies next to their name, and she's there to have the trophy of Harry next to her, and none of it looks really good.
No, frankly, she looks demented with that fake smile plastered on her face and the fake adoring eyes gazing up at Harry, who refuses to engage with her. It is all, why would he? She just drove by Diana's death tunnel. But we have to get to this other juicy clip of Meghan at Paris Fashion Week, attempting to look like the height of chicness and ultra high fashion in trying to double air kiss the new designer of Balenciaga. And it did not go well. Let's take a look at this. Oh, they clunked heads at least twice. And then she almost seems to push him back in a way. They do not look at all. This looks like a deep fake to me, a deep fake video. What do you think?
Well, they're culturally out of sync here because neither of them knows which type of kiss they're trying to do. The male here thinks it's going to be a one kiss and more of a hug. She's trying to do the Paris Fashion Week double kiss and really not kind of touch faces at all. So there's a mismatch here. Rather like in our last clip, there's a massive mismatch between Meghan and Harry, her looking up lovingly and him not looking back in the same way. Here again, the mismatch. It's interesting when you have somebody who isn't quite fitting in, especially when the others around are not now going to make adjustments to make sure she fits in. She's having to do way more work now in order to fit in with every situation. She's not being accommodated so much by people around her. Harry is not accommodating her anymore to make her look good. In this case, this male is not accommodating too well, not waiting for her. Like, how do you want to do this? She's not the main feature anymore in any of these situations.
You know, Mark, that is such an astute observation. And to your point, you know, she should have had somebody there, like basically a paid emissary whose job it was to guide her around, introduce her to people, and sort of, you know, ease that glide path. This is, you whisper in the ear, this is his name, this is how you approach, this is the greeting, this is the protocol, then we move along, you know? It's not that hard. I'm just a girl from suburban Long Island and I know this shit.
Well, look, we're in this relationship that we have here. Before I ever meet you, I meet two people beforehand who help me understand, look, here's what we're going to be doing. Here's how we're going to be doing that. Oh, and we've just got, you know, a YouTube show here. Right. Imagine that you are arguably one of the most famous people in the world for whatever reason. Right. Arguably one of the most famous people in the world. Don't you think that somebody should be there beforehand going, look, Meghan will be coming in a moment. Here's the way it's going to play out. Here's what you need to do. Here's what we're looking for here. Can you comply with this? There doesn't seem to be a lot of stuff happening around that. Like, you know, it's rather like in the first stages of Prince Andrew going down, how he wasn't getting very good advice anymore.
Yes.
People started to, so I don't know, could we be starting to see some of that? It's possible. It's possible.
I like your working theory. I love it. Your working theory of the ostensible crime. Okay, this, I saw these three things and I thought of you right away, Mark. I need to establish a hotline to you. Jennifer Lopez has a movie out that her ex-husband Ben produced. Now, keep in mind that Ben Affleck, upon leaving J.Lo, basically issued statements out of his own mouth saying he had a psychotic break when he married her. He couldn't wait to get away from her because he was having some sort of fever dream. And then he shows up on the red carpet and you can tell Jen didn't know he was coming. You know, she was hoping and praying as she was getting, will he be there? Will he be there? Take a look at this and then you'll take it on the back end.
They loved it. Oh my God. You're here. Yes, I'll get in the picture right now. Oh my gosh, Jennifer.
Okay, what do you make of it?
Yeah, lovely. Look, it's never a good look if you say, look, I was absolutely mad when I married her in the first place. That's never going to go very well for you. But look, here he is. He shows up here. It is clearly a surprise there. She doesn't quite know exactly who to now connect with.
Yes, you
And
can
she
tell
has
her gravitational pull is towards, she wants out of that interview to get right next to Ben.
Absolutely, absolutely. I sense a little bit of urgency from Ben in like, okay, come on, let's get this going, let's get this done. I don't know why that urgency is there. I almost see a little bit of tight-lippedness there. It could look a little bit like anger.
Yes.
Now, again, this could be just his uncertainty in the situation of I've shown up. We can all understand the reasons why he might need to show up. He's got skin in the game.
Right.
He's got money and potentially a relationship to repair in some way. And if this film is to make money in the right way, or this production is to make money in the right way, things have to be done in a cordial manner. So he may be ill at ease around working out how that's going to happen. And yes, you can see this pull with her and the interviewer of like, oh, should I end this interview now and go and do this? And who, I don't want to offend anybody. So there is this sense of I could offend that person back there if I don't go.
Offend him, Jen. He was an asshole to you. Offend him all day long. By the way, Mark, what do you make? I think it's a real power play / FU for Ben Affleck not to have his people reach out to J.Lo's people and say, hey, heads up, he's going to be on the red carpet tonight.
Yeah. Look, there's one thing in body language, which is just not showing up. There's the body language that I have when I show up with you. And then there's the body language that you assume that I have if I don't show up at all. And then there's putting you under stress as to will I show up or won't I show up?
Yes.
And if I do show up, what's my behavior going to be?
Yes.
Now, look, for you and I in this relationship here, we make an agreement. I go, yeah, I'll show up on time. I'll show up on time and I'll be pleasant and I'll be polite and I'll
That's because you and I are taking it slow, Mark. Okay.
Right,
We're not like these Hollywood
exactly.
couples who like smash together in a heartbeat.
Right, exactly. But what I don't do is go, hey, Maureen, I may show up or I may not show up. I mean, just see. And by the way, if I do show up, there is no guarantee how I'm going to perform around you. Well, that puts you under a lot of stress. Okay. Now, in your position, you could just go, hey, Mark, well, look, we're not having you on then because this is just untenable. In her situation, she not only has a past intimate relationship with him, but also, as you're telling me, he's the producer on this show. There's money in there. So you're absolutely right. It's a strong power play that he's doing here.
I think it shows contempt. Now, we're going to take one other look at this premiere because I want to also get your thoughts on the dress. Her gown, if you take a look at in that former clip, she's got these barriers, these black barriers that are like, keep away. Now, the barriers are gone. She's taken them off. And she really almost she couldn't wait to get to Ben here. She almost looks like a schoolgirl, like really giddy. And she's like front on with him with the kiss, and his body is slightly pivoted away, which is telling me he is not fully engaged in this greeting.
Yeah, I agree. Look, when we've seen them greet before, when she has that, incumbent on her, which is this spider idea, and it really is, you said it exactly right. It really is a barrier. And we see another film of them trying to deal with this barrier. Here, the barrier is gone, okay? You're right. She does do a bit of a schoolgirl kind of hand on the chest ownership piece.
Yes.
This one is mine. We see people when they're shopping in a physical shop, when they put their hand on the object, and especially gently on the object, it's a good indicator that they desire that. So she's showing desire. However, she doesn't then go round the back, okay, and take the back area or the top of the back area, especially the vulnerable down the bottom of the back area, in order to bring that person in close. So I would say she's showing desire and maybe a touch of ownership, but it isn't quite as intimate as we might think it looks from a general impression. There could be more intimacy shown in there with a little more of an intimate hug, I would say.
Well, I don't know what your over under is on whether they actually hooked up that night, but I just want to say, for anybody still wondering why Violet Affleck is at the UN masked up and making demands, this is Exhibit A. These two are up to their bullshit again. Okay. This clip, Nicole Kidman, on the heels of her shock split from the very heterosexual Keith Urban, showed up to Paris Fashion Week, the Chanel show, with her two daughters, and not just with them, flanked by them. I mean, these are older teenage girls holding their hands and then placing their two hands on top of each other at her center, at her actually at like womb level. And this is not a subtle message, but Mark, you break it down. Tell us what's going on over here.
Yeah, it's interesting because she's clearly trying to do the family shot here at Paris Fashion Week. Okay, so this is the family shot. What's always lovely about doing this show with you is that I don't know any of the contexts of this.
Okay.
Okay, and so I didn't know about this breakup. Okay, so this is a clear, like, we are a family. Now, the interesting thing is the two outsiders there on the outside, they're more playing Paris Fashion Week there. They're more trying to go, can I have a modeling contract? Both of them are showing very cool fashion model poses there. Nicole isn't. She can do that as well as anybody on the planet. She's doing mother in the center. They're doing models on the outside, and she's trying to unite them as children. Exactly.
Oh, this is such great messaging. Nicole's like, look, a mother of the year. My husband's humiliated me and therefore our two daughters. And she's got one over here who's already been walking the catwalk and is not a model. I'm sorry. Okay. Sunday Rose Kidman Urban is not a model. But their priorities are, mommy, we need modeling contracts. We don't really care about what's going on domestically. Okay. Louis C.K. on Bill Maher, who had prior to this always disparaged those who took part at the Riyadh Comedy Festival in Chop Chop Square in Saudi Arabia, goes on Bill Maher to defend his 180 as to why he's going to perform at Chop Chop Square. We'll take a look, and then Mark, you take it.
Yes, they're all, when I'm talking to other comedians that have been there, and they've been really surprised by what's going on. There is a woman who's a lesbian and Jewish who did a show there, and she got a standing ovation. And so there's stuff going on that's unexpected in this thing. And people have been playing Saudi Arabia for years. Like, comedians have been going and playing Arab countries. There was a film festival there recently. Like, it's kind of opened up.
What do you see?
Yeah, I mean, look, linguistically, it doesn't make any sense. Do we think the Jewish comedian there was, lesbian comedian was playing to Saudi royalty? No.
Do we also think she hates herself? Yeah.
Right. It's rather like in the days of Sun City. Do you think they were playing to black South Africans from no, they
Sun
were playing
City,
white
great
South
comparison.
Africans. Yeah. Okay. So obviously this doesn't make sense. What is interesting about this is he has a completely different manner to him than he had before when he'd go on these talk shows, putting himself forward, obviously as a stand-up comedian. Here, he's more putting himself forward now as a novelist. So he doesn't come in going, hey, I'm a stand-up. Because the moment he does that, we go, hey, weren't you the stand-up who exposed themselves to people in dressing? Are you that stand-up? Okay, so now he's playing the novelist. He's very calm. He's very relaxed
serious
about this. And this idea of stand-up comedy is brought up. And now he's like, yeah, I'm just kind of there as an observer. I'm just there as an observer. I'm just seeing what's happening here. And it's very good what's happening here. No, it doesn't make a lot of sense what he's saying here at all. And he's trying to present to us a whole different persona, character, and job description that he now has.
And you know what, Mark? I just don't think he's that great of an actor, because I can tell that he's not buying what he's saying. He doesn't believe it. And in so doing, you're insulting the intelligence of the audience and the people you're trying to sell this shit to. He says, there's a lot of really, like, that facial scratch to me is like, I'm being actively deceptive and I'm trying to get to this point. And then he's wandering around and he's like, he wraps up with like, there's a film festival there too. That counts, right? That's good.
I would definitely say this is very much an out of baseline self-soother for him. So I think you're right in saying that he is way less sure about what he's talking about here than he was when he started the interview, talking about his book and trying to be the relaxed novelist now, rather than the comedian who got himself into very, very hot water for massively inappropriate behavior in the
Lucky that statutes of limitations have run out. I hope he was sued to the graveyard. Now, Dakota Johnson, who apparently Chris Martin has dumped for good. And when you look at this clip, you'll see why. She is pawing a child actress that she has just made a movie with, and they are doing their promotional. This is a deliberate set up interview. Okay. Cameras on you. This is what she's doing when people are watching. Watch her like fondle. There's no other word to say it. This young actress, and watch John Hamm, who I give a lot of shit to, but we all contain multitudes. And he did the right thing here. He told her to knock it off, and he made a face of disgust. We'll take a look, and then you take it, Mark. She is.
I'm going to take her whole being with me from this experience.
This girl looks overwhelmed. Talk about a face like thunder, John Hamm.
The coolest, nicest person ever. So
here comes the hand again, playing with the ear and the earring. Now we're on the other side, and there's John Hamm telling her to stop
and incredible,
and removes the hand. Mark, what do you make of it?
This is very troubling. Of all the videos that we've seen today, this one is absolutely troubling. What we're getting there is what I would call trophy behavior, which is where you start to own the head and the neck of somebody. Trophy, it's an interesting word because it comes from the old days of battle, where when you won the battle, you would take the head off of your opponent. And so trophy means to move hard, to take the head off something. Yeah, so it's the ownership of the most important part of the body. Notice how she's taking control in a very dangerous way, because she's taking control of the earrings.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could rip them out of your lobe. I could hurt you, play ball.
Very sensitive area on the body, actually an erogenous zone as well as the neck area here. And here you've got the carotid arteries, the windpipe. Like, you can really damage somebody here. She's taking complete ownership of this. Hamm absolutely sees this. You can see the anger on his face. He's being as cordial as he can be, to try and keep this interview going.
On the rails.
But he is very firm. Now, the young female here, I don't know her name, the young female here is in big trouble. Her eyes go wide. They start doing a fluttering action. Yeah. This is in order to show the bully here, I would say, the bully here, that she submits to this. She's under stress and she's submitting to this. We hear that in her laughter.
Yes.
We hear that in she does a collapse gesture, and we hear it hit her lap or the table or whatever it is in front of her. She's becoming submissive to this bully here. Now,
what's also shocking to me, Mark, is John Hamm, good for him, had the stones to say, hey, knock it off, get your hands off this little girl. The interviewer was just sitting there like, this is normal. Like, why did the interviewer say, excuse me, wait a second, hey, are you okay, kid? Are you okay? Like, let's separate you a little bit. This is freaking me out.
Well, Maureen, it has been normal in the past. Let's make no bones about it. Fanning herself probably had the same treatment.
Oh, Dakota Johnson, you mean? No, yeah,
sorry,
of course.
Yeah.
This is why she thinks this is normal. This is why she thinks this is copacetic.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson has had the same treatment at some point. She's passing on that treatment, maybe unconsciously, maybe consciously. What she has here is a young actress who is the center of attention here.
Yes, she's in the middle. She's between Hamm and Johnson.
Right.
It's a great catch.
You know what Hollywood is like. Okay, when you are a star and young, you are a moth, and it is fleeting. But for that moment, you are everything, because you're the perfection of life and excitement and innocence, exactly what an audience wants to watch, and exactly what some parts of Hollywood in the past have preyed upon and may well continue to prey upon.
We just saw it. Chilling stuff. Okay, we're going to end On a more frivolous note, our favorite sprightly 900-year-old heroine, Sarah Jessica Parker, on the red carpet. Talk about a gown with encumbrances and a gown that says "Stay away, get back. I'm the star, and I am an angel of darkness." Let's take a look at her on the red carpet at the opening of the New York City Ballet fall season, and she is with her husband Matthew Broderick here, who truly serves the purpose of, basically a handbag. He's about 10 feet away from her. Mark, tell me your interpretation of this. None too subtle.
I had the same as you, which is it's the angel of death, isn't it? It's like Victoria's Secrets meets, like Night in Hell. And of course, look, it's an incredible costume, which is what people wear at that event. Mm-hmm. And so it's an encumbrance. It does create a barrier. Her husband is trying to deal with this barrier as best he can. But ultimately, what happens at the end of this is the photographers go, look, can we have you just on your own here?
Yes.
Because the big thing is her in the dress, and that extraordinary, piece of artwork.
Goth art. Yeah.
Yeah, Gothic art. Yeah, exactly. And so, but I think Broderick knows this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. In fact, I think I'm right in saying there is a moment in Sex in the City where this exact thing happens.
With Berger.
Okay.
Remember at the premiere of Smith Jerrod's play, and he gets very angry because the photographers are just like, Carrie, we just want you in the shot, just you alone.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, Broderick here doesn't get very angry. He plays to his, I think, some of his roles that he tends to get, which is easygoing, pretty cool, pretty fun, pretty light, and he moves out the way and he doesn't reproduce that exact scene from Sex in the City. So, look, I think everybody knows what's going on here.
She needs no attention really at all. She was just trying to get in the door without like a phalanx of paparazzi bothering her. And frankly, I get the impression that Matthew Broderick would rather be home watching the game.
I'm sure he would. I'm sure he absolutely would. You can't compete with a dress like that. You are always, especially dressed, all he's got on is an ordinary tuxedo. It's like
he's like, all right, I'll just suit up and get this over with.
Right. You've got an incredibly famous fashion icon wearing an extraordinary Angel of Death costume, and Matthew Broderick, lovely actor, in a dinner suit. It's like, it's no comparison. It can't compete.
We here at Team Nerve are all about Matthew Broderick in this one. We feel for you, Matthew. You took one for the team. Mark, so much fun talking to you. I could talk to you all day long. Please come back soon as we take some further cultural offenders to the woodshed with you.
Anytime.
Thanks so much to Mark. And thanks to you guys for watching our mini. We went a little long, but we had to do it. There was so much that was building up over the week. And now we have all had our catharsis. We all see what we see. We will be back here, on Tuesday for our full show. And again, on our new third edition of Full Edition, Wednesday for The Nerve at night. Cocktail glass in hand, wood chipper fired up, ready to see you guys after a long day. Okay. And then next Friday, we'll be back again, and we hopefully will be on Substack. So we have so much great stuff happening. So we will see you very soon at The Nerve, where you will never guess what we're about to say next. Have you guys come across the action movie star and karate champion Chuck Norris lately? You may have caught him in your feed. This guy is in his 80s and you would never know it. He has made an online video that offers some pretty great and simple health tips, things that he does that keep him feeling young and strong. And Chuck says he feels like he is in his 50s. So you too can check out what he has been up to and try it for yourself. Here's how. Watch the video now at chuckdefense.com/nerve. That's chuckdefense.com/nerve. And to make it even easier, we have linked below the video and you can check it out yourself. It's pretty quick, and seriously, it's been a game changer for him. And he wants you all to check it out for yourselves right now. chuckdefense.com/nerve.